we have finally made it to the end of this big old packet. We are going to be, once again, you might even be able to work from the back of your packet forward and get there quicker. We're going to tackle some of the system. Yes, sir. Sure, why not? Why not? So today we are going to tackle some of the issues that we ran into as far as systems go. We did lots of examples on this. So if there's anything that runs you off, that's going to be the place to go. You're going to notice, though, with the elimination, there's a couple of the types in here. We always want to check first to see if I can add down right away and make a variable go away. That's the hope, because that's the easiest route forward for us. So I'm always going to check. I mean, it won't work every time, so I got to make sure. Negative positive 4x right off the bat. That's kind of nice. Okay, by x, see ya. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1y, or you could just put y. And 1 plus 4 is 5. It does not get much easier than that to get one of your expressions. They will not all be that simple. Now, I'm not done yet, though. Don't stop. We still need to figure out what x equals. So you can use either equation you want to substitute into. I'm actually going to use the bottom one for once here, because I just see all positives, and that's usually easier to work with. So I'm going to start writing that second equation until I get to the y value, because I know what that is now. It's not y anymore. It's 5. Everything else in that equation stayed the same. Either equation will get you to the same answer. So 4 times 5 is 20. And here we are again. Seems like everything we do in here so far is built on two-step equations. And again, don't be afraid if you need to on a plus or a minus or even a divide to go to a calculator. I would rather have you get it right than try to just do it off the top of your head and miss it. And I'll still say this, I would appreciate your answers being in a coordinate like that. But even if you just get me x and y, I will take it. It just makes it a little bit easier to see what's going on. That's our best case scenario. Thank you. So our next scenario is going to be, I try to add down. 9 minus 2 does not cancel. Negative 6 plus 2 does not cancel. So I'm going to have to multiply at least one of my equations. Usually I'll try x first. Can I multiply the little number by something to get the big one? Can I do 2 times a whole number and get 9? No. Okay, well, what about y? Can I multiply 2 by something to get to 6? Yes, and whatever that is, we're going to multiply our bottom equation by. Now, I will mention one other thing here. If this also would have been positive, we would have had to change the sign. We got to make sure one's positive and one's negative. So in this case, we leave the top equation alone. And on this bottom one, I'm going to distribute that 3 all the way through. And this is an excellent one to do because this is a problem we ran into on the last quiz. If everything's going right, okay, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, in a moment here I can see when I add down my y's are going to go bye-bye this time. Like right there. Still adding. 9 and negative 6, or 9 minus 6 is 3. 24 minus 24 is 0. This does not mean no solution. I absolutely, when I get x alone by dividing it by 3, 100%, 0 divided by 3 is 0. I can even prove it here. 0 divided by 3 is 0. It's not undefined. So getting 0 for an answer, legit possibility. And then again, pick your equation you want to use. I guess I'm going to use the top one this time. I've already been doing stuff with the bottom one. And I start copying until I get to the variable I know. X is 0. anything times 0 is just 0. So that kind of just disappeared. So we're going to act that way. Divide by -6. Okay, I've got my two answers. And yes, I will stress when you're doing these on the quiz, excuse me, the test, you do need to do them by what I'm telling you to do. Like, you can't do everything by elimination. If it says elimination, do elimination. If it says substitution, you need to do substitution. Speaking of substitution, move that up a little bit. So when we have substitution, we're looking around hoping that we see x equals or y equals. Because if we do, that value is going to go in for that variable. So here's what that's going to look like. I'm going to start copying this top equation until I get to the y. Y has a different value. It's this value that's in the box. So I basically just copied the top equation, took out the y, dropped in my 8x plus 20, because now there's only one variable to work with. And that's what we need to be able to solve these. So we're not doing 7 minus 6. This -6 is directly connected to these parentheses. So we're going to multiply -6 times each of these. Getting some pretty big numbers for us in here. So once I get past that, this is the next big moment of truth. The x's are not on opposite sides of the equal. They're on the same side. They're both right here. Don't do opposites. Just put them together. Pay attention to the signs, but put them together. So 7 minus 48 would be -41x. And now we're back to what we're used to doing. And now it's just the little detail things to make sure we get our right answer. Man, that took up a lot of space just for that first step. Divide both sides by -41. Hopefully this goes in evenly. Let's see. Oops, if I type it in right, it might. -3. You're like, dang, Hardy, that's all just for the first answer? Second one's going to be a piece of cake, though. It's worth it. So why do I say that? Because now I want to solve for y. Well, there's already an equation up here that's y equals. So my last step, which is going to go super fast, is going to go here. And when I get to the x, I'm going to replace it with the -3. I could type that whole thing in my calculator if I wanted to. Can I squeeze this in here? I think I can. So substitution, the first equation will be chunky, the second one's going to be super fast, so they kind of even out. But it's just making sure we get that in extra. Sure. But there is one twist to substitution as well sometimes. Occasionally, you're not going to have an x or y equals right away. That's when we're going to go looking for just a lonely x or y that's kind of sitting there going, okay, I'd really rather just be on a side by myself. We're like, okay, so let's fix that. Let's move that 4x to the other side. Now, I haven't solved anything yet, per se. I haven't figured out what y equals, but what I have done is now give myself the same situation that I had in number 25, where I've got something I can plug into the other equation now. So since it's y equals again this time, here's my box right in there for that y. So I start copying that top equation until I get to y, right there. Then I'm going to replace it with its value because I want to be able to solve for a variable, and I can't do it when there's two of them in there. So it's that top equation with the new value in. And now we're going to use number 25 to help us see how this works. We're going to multiply that 6 through. And I'm going to give you a poly at this point. We have got you in a good spot. We're going to add the 54 over. I'm just going to tell you instead of showing, because I'm running out of room here. I'm writing too big as usual. And divide by negative 30. Got my x. Barely. Oh, did it help if I unfroze the screen? There we go. That's better. Y'all let me get away with all sorts of things in here. So same process as up above, and just like we did up above as well in number 25, now I got the easy y equals to work with. I'm just going to start copying this. When I get to the x, I'm going to take it out and replace it with its value. So positive 4 minus 9. Oh, squeeze it in there, Hardy. Get that done. So there's a lot going on there, especially since I write big, it makes it look worse than it is. But again, it's going to test your patience. It's going to test your attention to detail. And again, we're fortunate. The test is nowhere near this long. I'll give a little more breakdown of that when we get done here at the end. So as we get ready to turn the page, we don't have a whole lot left. I believe it's just applications and systems. So we'll see how this goes. So one more flip here. Oh yeah, the applications. Okay. Remember on the applications, your equations are right in the sentences. The only thing I need to figure out in advance is, okay, what are my variables standing for? So let's see. We're selling some cookie dough for a fundraiser. All right. White chocolate chip and double chocolate cookie dough. Okay, so I'm going to use W for white chocolate and D for double chocolate. That's really, I don't have to get real specific, just enough so you know yourself which thing is which. Then you go looking for the sentences that have numbers. Find the first one that has numbers, start at the beginning, and we're going to roll. Amy sold 3 packages of white chocolate chip. All right, so 3W. And 5 packages of double. 5D. For a total of $108. Next sentence, next equation. James sold 12 packages of white chocolate chip and 2 packages of double chocolate, also for a total of $108. Find the cost of 1 package of white chocolate chip cookie dough and 1 package of double chocolate cookie dough. So, now this can get a little more interesting. So I try my add down. My add down doesn't work. 3 plus 12, no. 5 plus, no. I even try the next trick. I'm like, okay, Can 3 times something get me to 12? Oh, yeah. Okay, so that'd be 4. But I'll do this on a post-it note, which again is the Hardy way of saying don't do this. Just kind of see. If I started to distribute here with that 4, I'm going to have 12W on top and 12W on the bottom. That doesn't cancel. They're both positive. So this time I got to pop a negative in here to make sure this works out well. So we got negative 12W and negative 20D. Oh boy. And negative 432. And I'm going to leave the bottom one alone. Because now I can add straight down. So it's just like the other ones we were doing with elimination. We just had to get the equations first. So the W's cancel. Negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18. Negative 432 plus 108 is negative 324. Whew. I was nervous there for a minute. Okay. So $18 for a package of double chocolate. Must be some good stuff or a really big package. Not sure which. And so then we have one step left. We still got to figure out the white chocolate chip cookie dough. Again, either equation will work. I'm just going to choose to use this one. So I'm going to start copying this down until we get to D. Thank you. When we get to D, I know what that is now. It's 18. And here we are back in two-step equation land again. Seems like we end up here every time. Divide by 12. I'm trying to figure out what the big price difference is here. Hopefully they're different sized packages. Because the white chocolate, I'm in it at $6 a package. So really the only addition here is you creating the equations, which you get straight from the sentences. No weird ones are going to come your way. Okay, they're going to be very straightforward, just like this one was. Last thing, I think it's last thing, I'm going to peek. Oh, I might be fibbing, we're going to see. We're close to the end. Can't be much further, we're already up to number 30. Okay, let's see what we got left. Solution to the system. Okay, heavy fan of colors here, because it's going to be easier to see where the overlap is if we roll with colors. I will tell you in advance, I am going to be nice. All of these are going to be in y equals already. So just a couple quick reminders, but this is fresh, so this probably won't be as bad. So again, we're going to graph our lines. So we got -1. Our slope is 4/1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Hardy, I ran out of room. We remember that. It's just changed the signs on both. Down 4, left 1. Okay. And now it just comes back to what we talked about yesterday. No line underneath the arrow. So it's dotted or dashed. And greater than means we're shading above. Now, if it's like this one, you're like, above. But just again, go looking for that y-axis top arrow, and wherever side of the line that's on, That's where the shade goes. And so I just repeat it with the second one. There's my y-intercept. My slope this time is just 1 over 1. So up and over. We're not looking for intersection. If we did, that'd be the answer. Down and left. Okay, I don't have to go crazy here. No line underneath. We're going dotted again. Dotted or dashed, whatever you want to call it. And the arrow is pointing at y, which is less than. Less than is underneath. And we're just looking for the area that's got both, in my case, pink and blue, which is this nice little pie shape right in there. So there'll always be a place somewhere that they're going to have some overlap as you're doing these. I'm going to go past 33 for the moment. At the end, I will come back if somebody wants to see that. I just want to make sure those of you that are trying to fly ahead can see this last one that we're going to do. We get to have a review from yesterday one more time. I think some of you actually like these matrices things because it's like, yeah, the calculator can do my work. That's what I'm talking about. So last one. Hallelujah. All right, let me bust this back out. So, just like we have been doing several times now, we're just going to follow the little guide here. I still have some of those on the back table if you need them. Second, x negative 1 again, which is right down here under math. Arrow over to edit and hit enter. I have no reason to believe it'll be anything but 3 by 4, but just in case, 3 enter, 4 enter. Once we enter the matrix, bring this down a little so we can see the numbers. Hit enter after each number. So I'm just doing the coefficients. That is it. No other crazy stuff. Make sure you get negatives and stuff when they are there, because that matters. And if I've done it right, I should end up back at the start of the matrix. So when I'm done, I did. I'm feeling good. I'm going to double check though. I think I'm good. Okay. Got to take a break from the matrix for a minute. So up here at the top, they're right next to each other. Second in mode, we quit. And then we jump right back in. Second x negative 1. Arrow over to math. Down we go to RF. Got to make sure it's that one. Hit enter. Last line. Second. X to the negative 1. Enter to insert the matrix. And enter for the answer. Oh, uh-oh. We didn't see this before. Well, we are now. You're like, Hardy, what? Okay. Let's write our matrix here, and then I get to do a little splaining to you here. I promise this will not get done to you tomorrow, but it is good that you've seen it once at least. So you're like, okay, so wait, Hardy, this is weird. Why is that one up there? It should be down here. And you're right, it should be. So here's the deal. Normally, we're used to seeing this. And then those numbers are the answers. If you get a weirdo one where it's all zeros in the bottom, what does that mean? That says 0 equals 0. Wait, we've seen that before. If 0 equals 0, that's true. All reals, we've called it infinite solutions. Whatever that is. So those even show up in matrices sometimes. But like I said, most of the time, they're going to have this pattern, and the top one is X, and the middle one is Y, and the bottom one is Z. But it's good. It's good for you to get to see a little bit of a change up here when it comes to those. So if you're feeling good at this point, cool. Notes and stuff updated? Cool. I'm going to go back and do that last one of these that I hadn't done. And then if people have questions, I'll take them. Again, these videos of all the odds will be on Classroom if you need a refresher. The keys are there already. So it is your call what you are going to need and what you are not at this point. So, last one. Slope is a negative. Only one of the numbers is negative, though. Down 1, right 3. I'm going to wing it. I'm just one off here. This time my arrow's got a line under it, though. And when it does, that's a solid line. Arrow's pointing at Y. Y, you are less than I am. Less, we go under. -2. My slope is 4/3. All the positivity this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Oh boy, 4. Oh, Hardy really winging it here. Okay. No line underneath this time. We're just greater than. So that's going to be dotted. And Y is greater than means we shade above. We shade to the side with the arrow going up for Y. Not just blue, not just green. Rock and roll. Okay? The test itself tomorrow. Quick fly over here. Will it cover all the topics that we did in the review? Yes. There are, hang on a minute, I'm almost there. You're going to think I'm crazy at the start. There's 23 questions. So a lot of these are going to go quick. The ones that are going to go slow are probably going to be the ones like the systems and stuff. If we don't get through everything tomorrow and we roll it a little into Monday, that's okay.